Host QUARRELED Jeopardy's surprise appearance is criticized by GMA's George Stephanopoulos, but Michael Strahan observes his co-host in awe. Michael Strahan was rendered dumbfounded by GMA producers as they presented a clip of George appearing on a recent Jeopardy program. Michael, 51, revealed that George, 62, was the solution to one of the questions from last night's Jeopardy! Masters competition during the Play of the Day segment on Thursday's show. The $600 query belonged to the Michael J. Fox 61 category. In order to give James Holzhauer a chance to respond, Michael asked him which advisor to former President Bill Clinton served as the inspiration for his character in the 1995 film The American President. In the second part of the hint, he said, "And who appeared in a cameo on my sitcom Spin City? Whoa, is Stephanopoulos?" James guessed. That was accurate. The morning show moderators were seen again when the producers cut to George's co-host Michael, who made a charming comment. Michael praised George, saying, "You are the answer to the $600 question, but I think you're $1 million question guy." He continued by saying that because Ken Jennings, 49, featured in The American President, the game show's host, the Hollywood legend, rather than Jennings, posed the Jeopardy! Question. The Family Ties star and George first met in the middle of the 1990s, when the former came to see then Commander-in-Chief Bill at the White House. George continued with an anecdote. George remembered, "I think it was 1994 that he, Michael, came to the White House, and he came to the Saturday morning radio program to meet Bill Clinton. We became buddies after I first met him there along with his young son Sam." His co-hosts Michael and Robin Roberts, both 62, sent him adoring glances. She smiled as she turned to face Michael after he fell silent, but he didn't see because he was grinning broadly at George. He stared at George for a while before finally saying that he was just looking at him in awe, which made George and Robin giggle. He somewhat minimizes his contribution to Jeopardy! George slyly replied, $600, making fun of the cost of the hint. Michael continued to praise George, highlighting the fact that he made it. The development in the relationships of the ABC stars was evident in today's show. After host George disclosed that he and Michael had a fight during an episode last year, the audience was divided. This occurred as the morning show's two anchors made their long-awaited returns. After the show came back from commercial, George abruptly halted it from continuing with the day's headlines because he needed to settle a dispute with his co-anchors and viewers at home. He said, "I want to get to the headlines, but first we need to involve our viewers in the discussion we've been having here on GMA for the last 5 minutes." Since Ginger Z, a 42-year-old meteorologist, was reporting from the Caribbean on that particular day, George claimed that he, Michael, and Cecilia Vega were disputing behind the scenes about how to pronounce the word. George believes it can be said both, whereas Michael claimed it can be said both and stressed he is dedicated to that pronunciation. George pleaded with the audience to join the discussion and end it for them by tweeting their opinions, specifically to saturate Michael's comments with them. George said to the audience after turning the discussion over to them, "We went on for 5 minutes. I'm sure you can deal with it too." The GMA audience started tweeting about it right away, but they all had different opinions. "I agree with the second pronunciation," one person wrote. At Michael Strahan, "I'm sorry." The second person echoed what George had stated, adding, "I think it can be pronounced both ways." "Michael is correct," a third viewer only insisted.